Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back. Discount Property Investors. Today we are talking, Mike and I are talking with a local St. Louis investor, wholesaler, Trevor Rice. Trevor, welcome to the show, my man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing real good.
Awesome.
What's up, Trevor? Thanks for joining us, man. It's good to talk to you again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good talking to you guys. You guys are killers, and I always aspire to go that way.
Well, thank you for the kind words. So we wanted to bring Trevor on because Trevor just sent us over a deal that he had, and we have a service called Let's Co-Wholesale, which basically allows other local investors in our market to share in our buyers list efforts and our buyer marketing efforts that we have. We have a pretty good system in place, and we also have a pretty good list of buyers. So Trevor sent us over a deal, and we successfully helped him sell it by bringing in the buyer, and we're going to split the deal. It wasn't a home run deal, but hey, a deal is a deal. And if you have a decent buyers list in your market, guys, it doesn't matter where you live or where you invest. Let me rephrase. If you have a decent buyers list in a market that you like to invest, again, it doesn't have to be where you live, you have a lot of power with that list, right? And you can partner with other investors, and that's what we did, right? To help them sell those deals. You have something you want to say? I can tell. Go for it.
No, man, I love it. I was just thinking in my brain, like, we should probably try to roll out Let's Co-Wholesale in other markets by partnering with other people like us. Like, there's no reason not to.
That's right.
But anyways, that's where my brain was at just then.
That's right. So, Trevor, thank you for bringing us the opportunity to work with you. We just inked in the contract, it sounded like about 10 minutes ago, which is cool. We'll get that all over to the title company. And that going to close this week?
Yeah, that's what's great about it.
So, Trevor came to us, and he probably had done some of his own marketing already, but he said, hey, I'm getting to the crunch line. Right. And again, it wasn't a home run deal. We didn't make like $15,000 on the deal, but we're each going to make a couple $1,000. And at the end of the day, for really just, visiting a property once or twice and sending out a couple text messages and doing a little bit of marketing efforts, we created a triple win situation. In this case, a quadruple win situation. The seller is going to be able to sell his property. Trevor is going to get paid. Mike and I are going to get paid. Those are two wins right there. And a buyer is going to buy it and put a little bit of money into it. He's actually looking for just another property, but he's also looking to keep his guys busy, right? So if he doesn't have anything to do, those guys have the risk of going out and working for somebody else. So sometimes people are willing to, not necessarily buy at a massive discount just because they have other goals in line. So we got this one sold. It worked out. We're going to get paid this week. Trevor, thank you for putting your trust into us. If you are local in St. Louis, guys, and or do marketing in the St. Louis area, and you need help selling your deal, just like we were able to do for Trevor, reach out or go to Let's Co-Wholesale, LetsCoWhole.com, letscowholesale.com. Fill out an application of the deal you got, and we will then get back with you, usually within a couple hours, with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Thumbs up meaning, yes, we would love to help you and work with you. Typically, we give the investor that brings the deal to us 60% too. So we really want to, make it juicy for them, right? We want to make it worth their while. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Trevor, tell us about the deal, though, man. I mean, that's what,
that's
a lot of people are new to the business, and they're like, well, where do I find deals? And that's always kind of interesting, too. So what were you doing marketing-wise, or how did you come across this seller, and how did that go?
Yeah, so the lead altogether is very unique, and I love it. It was an SMS lead, actually. At the time, I was using Batch. I'm probably end up going back to that. We spoke about that before, but
Yep.
SMS sent to this real estate agent, actually, who contacted me and then stated, "Hey, I want to sell my deal. Can you come make an offer on it?" This was about 8 months ago. And so I went to the property. He had a guy there already painting the walls from a bad tenant, and the floors were all getting replaced. And I'm like, hey, my highest and best is 55,000. And we had the whole conversation. He understood why I made the offer because it's a 2-bedroom. And then he came back and said, "Look, man, I owe too much. I can't accept that. I'm sorry." And just a simple follow up, I texted him last week. And he just said, "Hey, I need this deal closed. I'm going to make some money on my other property that I'm selling. And because of this, I'm willing to go lower and take the 55 for my deal." And I'm like, "Cool, man. That's awesome. All I wanted to do is go out to dinner and follow up with you because he's a realtor and I bought deals from him before. And he has connections with other people that I've wholesaled their deals for him as well. So it's a deep relationship that I have with this guy. Just off of a text lead, and then I'm trying to help him out on this deal. Now, I didn't have enough time, like I told you guys, so I'm sending out my blast, but most of my guys need, 14 to 30 days minimum. I didn't have anybody that can actually come to the table and buy it that fast. So I remember David having a phone call with me one time, and he told me, "Look, man, if you're at that point where you don't know where to go and you're at a last second situation, just call us." And so that's what I did. I reached out to David. I said, "Look, man, I'm in that point right now where I'm in the last second. I need help." And you came through. What's crazy is I knew who the buyer was, but you guys just are so good with your list, and you guys know who's out there wheeling and dealing, and you're so in tune with that list that you were able to connect us, and we're able to do the deal. And I'm so happy to be able to pay you guys just to bridge that gap.
Hey, man, we're grateful for you bringing us the lead as well in the business. So
Yeah, you got the right
it's
mindset,
a win-win.
too.
That's the main thing. Yeah, absolutely. And we actually went outside of our typical deal structure just to get it done and make it a win-win. We're obviously not in the business of price gouging. We have minimums, and we went outside of that because we wanted to get the deal done. We wanted to create the triple win, and we want to make it fair for everybody. So again, we can make exceptions on these as needed. But again, if you are in the St. Louis market and you have a deal you want to sell, guys, go fill out a form, letscohosale.com. If you don't live in the St. Louis market, hopefully you're learning a valuable lesson about the power of a buyer's list, right? So maybe offer at your own local real estate clubs or in your own local Facebook groups or whatever you're doing with your networking to help other investors sell their deals. And on the flip side of that, let's say you are new. Trevor's not new at this, but let's say you're brand new and you don't have a buyer's list or you don't know how to market a property accordingly. Well, maybe find a local investor that's, very good at wholesaling or has been in the game for a long time and ask to leverage their buyer's list. And if you have a good spread on a deal that's, maybe a $7,000 to $10,000 or maybe even $15,000 deal, and they see the value in that deal and you bring it to them, do you think they're going to say, "No, go pound sand"? No. They're going to say, "Yeah, 50-50 split. We juice it. We say we're going to give you 60% because we're more interested in helping more people than trying to do less deals at a bigger amount. We'd rather them make more money, us make less money, but have the ability for them to bring those leads into us." And at the end of the year, Mike, it equates to maybe 15 or 20 extra deals that we're able to do by just connecting the dots.
No, we don't do a ton of deals with it, but again, we help people out, and I love what you said, Trevor, which is I knew the person, but I'm just happy to pay you guys. I'm happy that we were able to get the deal done. Because again, you mentioned you've got a relationship with this agent/seller, sounds like, and that's super, super important to keep nurturing that relationship and to be positive about the fact that, oh man, instead of being like, "Oh, I lost out, I could have sold this deal myself," to be like, "Well, no, but I needed help. These guys found the buyer that even though I knew them, they got this deal connected. We put the dots together and we're able to do a deal." And that's what having a bigger network allows you to do. So really, really powerful, man. That mindset is super, super important. And again, it's not something that you can necessarily really teach other people. to keep that mindset that you have.
That's right.
So, what else are you working on, Trevor?
Yeah, Trevor, now that we got you and
man?
we've said our thanks, let's just
Yes.
chat and do some networking. That's the whole point, right? So what are you working on? Do you have any other deals now that we got you here that you may want help selling? Because we got, we got the capacity to move some of these other ones. Also, let's just talk about some of the marketing that you're doing. I'm just kind of curious.
What's working?
Sure. Just to touch on real quick with what Mike had said, like I totally agree with that mindset. And for me, it was 2021 was for me a year of relationships. I wanted to scale vertically with my relationships. I didn't want to scale horizontally right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like with you guys, as well as like with the, agent seller, my thing was if David's minimum was $3,000 and he told me, hey, look, I'm going to take that $3,000, you're not going to make anything, I probably still would have done the deal because the relationship with both of you guys, the seller and the buyer, or, you guys are just as important to me. So I think that's huge for a lot of wholesalers to understand, because a lot of these wholesalers that are coming into the game, they're going to be like, oh, screw David and Mike, I already know the end buyer, I'm just going to go to the end buyer. Or they're going to say, oh, the seller, I don't really care about that seller. I just did one deal with them. I'm not going to follow up with them anymore because they only had that one deal and they, it was 8 months ago and they couldn't accept it. I don't want to work with them anymore. But for me, it was more about relationship. I just followed up with him to go out to dinner with him to help him out with some bank stuff. And he told me he still has that deal that he wants to sell. So it was just super perfect.
Yeah, man, isn't it funny how follow-up is really like the most important part of this business? Following up with your sellers, following up with the offers that you've made, following up with your buyers, following up with offers that you made, following up with title companies, following up with offers that you made. You guys see the consistency here? Following up with other wholesalers to do joint venture deals, following up with your offers. Did I say that a couple times already?
You got to follow up.
Yeah, you got to follow up with those offers, though, man. That's the thing. Like, you got to follow up with those offers. That is where the money is made in this business. I love it. So, Trevor, very cool. Thank you for sharing. Marketing. What kind of marketing are you doing? What's working for you right now?
It's so funny you said that, because this year I kicked my ass into gear, because in my Podio, I think I can still check it now, I have 173 properties that I need to follow up with that we physically have walked.
153. That's great. Have you made offers on all of those hopefully by now, or at least verbally?
That's what I'm saying. We haven't followed up. And I remember looking at my Podio and I'm like, dude, 2020, we missed out on probably a good 20, 30 deals just because of not following up. And that really fueled a fire under my ass. I was like, let's just chill out on the regular marketing right now and let's hit these follow-ups, because I feel like we've spent so much money to get these people to just be on the phone and say yes. And now we just let it go because we gave up because the first offer didn't work out, or they no-showed, or, something of those reasonings. So now we're just focusing on banging those out and following up. All my deals this year, I've already got 7 deals this year, and out of the 7 was all follow-ups. We didn't do any of those were marketing.
Not any of those were from new marketing, basically.
Yes.
Yes. So all the follow-ups. So guys, that's such an important thing. It's such an important thing. It takes us 4 to 6 months typically to do a deal. And, when we get a bunch of leads that come in, of course we're looking for the ones we can get closed right away. But really the goal for us whenever we do our marketing is just to build a big follow-up system. That's it, right? Because we know that months down the road we're going to be able to get deals, right? The fact that you guys are aware and just doing as much follow-up as you can is awesome, because now you're getting deals without even having to spend new money on marketing. I love that. Follow-up is really, truly the name of the game. People ask all the time, Trevor, how long does it take to get a deal if you're brand new? And my response is, well, it's kind of a loaded question, because, how much marketing are you actually doing? Is it consistent? And then once you get a seller on the phone that has a level of motivation, how good at closing are you, right? But then it's beyond all that. That's like the 1 in 200, lead that comes in, or 1 in 500 lead that comes in where they're motivated right away. All of those leads need to be then added to a system and then followed up with. So then the final question is how consistent are your follow-up efforts? Because if all of those things are in line, the average person should be able to close a deal in 1 to 2 months. right? In my opinion.
Yeah.
Now that's probably with a coach, helping them make sure that they're doing all the things right. Without a coach, maybe double that amount of time, right? By all means,
Yeah.
I get it. There's a difference between speed, and having a coach is obviously going to increase, or I should say decrease the amount of time or increase the speed at which you're going to be able to go get a deal. But the fact that you're doing all those is awesome. That's why you've already done 7 deals this year. We're only a month in. You're on pace to do 80 deals, man. That's awesome. Keep crushing it. What kind of new marketing are you working on right now? We do cold calling, cold texting, very little online marketing, but some, like AdWords and Facebook, again, some. And we cycle on and off the radio, which currently we are off the radio. So right now, to this very second, mostly cold calling and cold texting. We do drive for dollars, and we implement mail when we do our drive for dollars. Now, we don't typically buy lists and mail them, but when we do our driving for dollars, we hit those individuals with 2 to 3 postcards right when they get added in from our efforts. But then we also take that data and take it home and skip trace it and cold call and cold text simultaneously. That's what we're doing right now. It seems to be working. It also allows us to keep our budget around, a couple thousand a month, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month, without getting too crazy. Because when you run AdWords campaigns or you do radio or these things, these are expensive. You can easily spend $1,000 to $2,000 a week, if you ramp them up for the most part. So that's what we do. What are you doing? Curious to hear it.
Yeah, so as far as my marketing efforts, right now I was deep into texting. We'd probably be hitting about 500 people per day.
Nice. That's a good amount.
In the texting world. And then we were pulling leads from PropStream, and we would also pull leads from Driving for Dollars. I have 2 acquisitions people. So every time they go on an appointment, I just tell them hey, whenever you go on an appointment, I want you to get 5 Driving for Dollars leads when you get there, and then 5 Driving for Dollars leads on your way back.
I love it.
And so that way, every time you go on an appointment, it's probably bringing 10 to 50 leads per day, just from that. And then I have Sharice, who's my VA. She skip traces it, puts it into our marketing efforts, and puts them into the campaigns. That way, and then they're tagged to each acquisitions person, so their Driving for Dollars leads are attached to them. So whenever they get their commission, it's attached to them.
I love it. You guys see what Trevor did here is he basically, he put a goal in place for his team. That is a very easy goal to be consistent with. He's not asking for them to go out for 2 hours every day. Instead, he's just saying if you're going to go do anything, if you're going to go look at a property, hey, try to hit 5 on your way and 5 on the way out. And that obviously helps your team be consistent.
What a great idea and a great practice, because you should really, and I don't do it, but you should drive the neighborhood that you're buying the house in. You should drive a couple streets just to get a feel for what you're buying
before you even get out of your car.
What a great idea,
man.
I like
That's
doing
awesome,
that too, Trevor.
I don't always pull my phone out like he's suggesting, but that's something that I'd probably start doing, though. I really like that, Trevor. That's awesome. So cold texting, for the most part, is your main lead source, and it obviously gets leads in the system. But getting those leads closed is a whole different story. Follow-up really is the best way to do that. And just from your follow-up efforts, you got 7 deals closed. How many months old is your lead system? How long have you been doing this business? Because I know you're adding leads into some sort of a CRM. How long have you been adding those leads in there, basically, is my question.
I've had Podio since early 2018.
Okay.
And so I've been adding leads since about then. So coming up on 3 years.
Yeah. 18, 19, and all 20. We're in 21 now, aren't we? Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. So about 3 years. So you have 3 years of leads. So the coolest part is this business snowballs. And that's how Trevor was able to basically get 7 deals the first month of 2021, is because he's got 3 years of leads that he's added into his system, right? And he's just following up with these people. So the more time you spend in this business, the more leads you're going to have added, and the more ability you have to follow up with these people. Trevor, who does your follow-up primarily? Is it you, or do you have somebody helping you with that?
I'm at a point now where I'm also buying rentals for myself very aggressively. So I delegate that off to the VA. She's awesome. And she coordinates the follow-ups. Now, if it's something where the acquisitions has already went on the appointment, then that's the acquisitions people's responsibility to follow up with that lead. Once it hits their desk and they've already gone on an appointment, then the acquisitions has to do the follow-ups, and it's their responsibility. Because then every morning meeting that I go with them, I'm like, hey, you need to track that lead. That's your person. You were there. You got them motivated to sell. You made your offer. So now that you need that offer out there, it's in the air. You need to follow up. And the important thing too is like out of my deals, the other thing about the 3 years of leads, it's not just leads. Now there's 3 years of relationships that I've built deeper for me. If I quit right now all my marketing, I could still probably bring in 3 deals a month, just because I have real estate agents or smaller wholesalers or attorneys, or I have title companies reach out to me. There's multiple other sources that come out to me and they'll send me deals. Even my lender, he'll send me deals like probably once a week, and he'll say, "Hey, I'll lend you on this one." So it's like, it's almost perfect because I built those relationships up so well that when people get fed and paid money, they want to keep sending you deals because they want to keep getting money so that way they can feed their families. So it's important. I think that was
right. I like that you said it's relationships that we built. It's not just leads. And I think that's a really good point to make, because if you just look at those as leads and you enter them in the system and you're in a hurry to get on the phone with them to determine if they have any motivation, if they don't have any motivation and you're in a hurry to get off the phone with them, they remain a lead. But if you spend time talking to them or even setting the appointment to go out and view that property, it allows you to make a friend, AKA you build a relationship. And then when you go to call that person back in 3 months, now you're like calling them as a friend. So they're going to be more likely to answer. They're going to be more likely to want to work with you. They're going to be more likely to want to negotiate with you when you build a relationship and you make a friend. And Trevor, that's such a valuable thing, because a lot of people, they don't necessarily have the confidence to just go run an appointment with an unmotivated seller because they think it's a waste of time. Whereas Mike and I, we look at it like, what, if we can make a friend with this person, maybe they'll be willing to negotiate with us a little bit more. And even if they aren't, we know they want to sell, and we have a brokerage. So maybe we're able to pull another tool out of our belt, which would be a listing, to help them sell that property, right? So making a friend, I just can't stress this enough, how much value it has. And really, you worded it better than I ever could have by basically saying they're not just leads in my system, they're relationships. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's important. And for us, David, like, you have a team around you and I have a team around me. Like, attitude reflects leadership. Remember the Titans quote. And on top of that, like, when I went out to Texas, I realized that I was just kind of laying back, like my acquisitions, go out on the appointments, making offers and stuff. I maybe had morning meetings like once every 2 weeks or something. So that connection and that relationship with my own team was off. And so when I got home, I just established everybody's why. I asked them, what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you doing what you're doing? And then I built that up and I said, hey, we're doing meetings every single morning because I want to be here with you guys. And I realized, like, hey, it's a relationship-based business. Like, I have to be in the trenches with my team and I have to be a leader. And to be a leader, you have to be willing to go in the trenches and like show your team that you can do it. So morning meetings, I'll hop on calls with sellers with them. I'll give all my confidence to my team so that way they can use that confidence out in their appointments. And I think that's super important with those relationships too, is like just being a good leader to your team.
Man, I totally agree. We were just looking at a deal that we got under contract a minute ago, Mike and I, over the weekend, and we wanted to see where the lead came from. We had the lead in the system for 6 months, and it was generated by one of our cold callers who no longer works for us. But the reason that we went to look is because we're like, man, we just got this under contract. What a better way to get the team inspired and be a good leader is by rewarding our team. So we were going to basically try to send them a $50 or $100 bonus, which doesn't seem like much, but that's actually a lot of money to somebody that's working at $4 or $5 an hour, just as a thank you. But they don't even longer work for us anymore at this point, because sometimes callers that come and they go, you get how that works. But yes, totally agree with 100% of what you just said, man. I love it. Anything else that you want to add for the newbie? We have a lot of people listening that are really new to the investing and really, I should say, marketing business of wholesaling, right? You are investing because you're buying rentals. You're taking risk, outside of just flipping paperwork, right? But if you are a new wholesaler in this business, what would be the best piece of advice you could give to somebody that's brand new?
Yeah, I think I would tell people what I would want myself to be told 3 years ago. And that is, don't be afraid to fail fast. Also, take it slow and worry about yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing and what they're saying. There's so many people in the industry say they're doing, X amount of deals, but they're really not. So just stay in your own lane and do your own thing. And as well as consistency, don't give up and just keep being consistent. And as far as softwares, you don't have to get shiny object syndrome. There's a lot of softwares out there that have all these fancy buttons, but at the end of the day, like David and I are talking, it comes down to simplicity. Like Batch, I use Batch, and now I'm going back to them now probably because it's just a simple software. It's X price. They're transparent about everything. There's no bugs. It's tried, true, and tested. So it's like, don't get the shiny object syndrome when another software comes out and says, "Oh, well, we can do all that, but we added this."
Yeah, or it's half the price, but after 3 hours of using it, it's going to air out every day, and it's like, well, can I even use it? Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Simple is best.
Trevor,
Yeah.
I think one of the coolest things about you is your mindset, man. You over and over throughout just talking over this 25 minutes, I hope people picked up on the fact that you have the right mindset, and I think that's what is so important to this business. If people want to reach out to you, you want to give them an email?
Yeah. How do
or
they reach out to you,
Facebook?
Trevor?
How can people
You got a
reach out to you?
website?
If you don't have something
Yeah.
off the top of your head you want to share, we can stick it in the show notes. Either way.
Sure. Yeah. So I have a free course that I give out. It goes over like ethics, the mentality, integrity, and it also goes into the wholesaling world, all the stuff and the tools that I use. It's cheap and easy to get your first deal for all the newbies. It's zero to hero wholesaler.thinkific.com. And then as far as like reaching out to me, you can reach out to me on Facebook. My name's Trevor Rice, and also you can reach out to me via email at trevor@houseprosoffer.com.
Great.
Trevor
we'll
at
throw offer.com.
Got it. Okay, cool, man.
Well, Trevor, thank you so much for joining us, man. Again, love the mindset. That's one of the things that, again, I think is just so important to have in this business is the correct mindset. Thank you all for listening to us. Discount Property Investor Show. If you've got a deal, if you're here in St. Louis that you want help selling, just like Trevor, we're happy to come in and help move a deal if we can for you at letscowholesale.com. Thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you guys next time.
And don't forget, visit discountpropertyinvestor.com. Brand new site. Got tons of free courses on there as well. Trevor, thanks for mentioning yours. Signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support. And remember, you make your money when you buy, you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.